We were at a swimming hole in the panhandle of Northwest Florida. I'm taking my family there to swim, and it was packed. I mean, you were tripping over people. I think maybe it was right at the beginning of COVID, and the beaches were closed, and so we were all going where we could go. But I saw this older woman talking to a younger boy. I could probably her grandson or one of her grandson's friends, I don't know. And something about the exchange caught my attention. There are certain things you expect out of different types of people. And if they're not the way you expect, it catches you off guard. So if you are going in for surgery and you meet with the surgeon beforehand and he's incredibly bumbly and clumsy and forgetful and he's dropping everything, it holds you up short a little bit, right? Wouldn't me anyway. If you go to a really fancy restaurant, you pay a lot of money for food, you expect it to taste really good. And I find, and maybe it's just because of the circles I've been in, but I don't think so. I think this is fairly common for everybody. I find that older people, I expect to have a sense of wisdom and maturity about them, a sense of, I don't know that refinement is the right word because it brings social propriety image to mind, and that's not what I mean, but just the sense of gravity and maturity and wisdom that's been gathered through the years of life they've lived and all the lessons that they've learned, right? And this older woman was talking to her grandson or grandson's friend or whatever. I don't remember the conversation really well. I think it was about where to buy liquor and how to buy liquor and the age you have to be or whether or not they're going to give you a hard time or card you or whatever. I'm not anti-alcohol, that's not the point of this, but there was something in the vibe of that conversation that caught me, and I felt like there was a lack of class and maturity in this woman. And I'm not trying to be mean. It sounds incredibly judgmental. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm saying this because I think it's important. I had a little bit of this sensation that you would have if you saw, I don't know, if somehow you could see like a child that had never grown up properly but had aged into a very old body. It catches you off guard. And that's what I felt like I was looking at a little bit. I was looking at, instead of an older lady, I was looking at kind of a young woman that hadn't necessarily learned all of these life lessons yet, but was now, hey puppy. You be nice. But there was something about the exchange that felt off to me. And instead of looking at a lady whose life had been seasoned with the years, right? I felt like I was maybe looking at a younger person who hadn't matured through life's experiences and now was just trapped in an older body. That sounds incredibly judgmental, and that's not the point. I could have been completely wrong. I could have misread the situation. I could have misread the vibe. I could have misread everything. I don't know, and that's not the point, really. It's not about her. It was about what I felt and what I thought. And I couldn't help but leave that situation without thinking, God help us to mature through life, to be the kind of people that live these years out, make these decisions, navigate these problems, and learn wisdom. God help us to grow closer to Him through the years, but to learn from our mistakes and what we're doing, and to be the kind of people that as we age, we're able to season the lives around us, to share the blessing of our wisdom with them, to help them navigate their own problems and their own journeys, right? It just feels tragic to end up in old age without that seasoning taking place. That's my thought for today. Do with it as you will.